Hello och välkommen till vårt hem. Oh, sorry, English. Hello and welcome to our home.
So for those of you who don't know, Mel lived in Norway for 8 years, and that's kind of the inspiration, or was the inspiration, for our van. They have these architectural type churches called stavkirker.
Stavkirker. This is van number 3 for us actually. We first lived in a Ram ProMaster 2500, then we decided to get a little bit bigger, taller van and a little bit of a different layout. So we started working on our second one, which was a Ford Transit high roof extended. Unfortunately, that one was totaled. So this is van number 3. So come on and join us to see our layout.
This is a Ford Transit 2019 high roof extended. We did upgrade the tires to little beefier off-road style. The original ones on there just look like stock kind of spare tires. So we are very glad that we put those on there. So the thesis behind this was kind of a modern rustic style, going off from the Norwegian churches architecturally. And I hope you like it as much as we do. We were quite proud of ourselves in the end. We're not particularly skillful in all things, so here we go.
As you can see in that picture of the Norwegian stavkirke, there are a lot of raw materials that we're basing our van off of. So some of like the black and wood colors of the church, we have the greenery of the grass, we have like stone for the stone hedges and the rocks around the church. So I'm going to show you a few of those different things. Starting with the flooring, this is a scratch stone vinyl plank flooring, click and lock type flooring. It was pretty simple to install, pretty cheap, and the nice thing is it holds up to a lot of wear and tear. And as we come right inside here, this here material we like is sort of similar to a wool. We wanted a lot of, like, I guess I'm calling them raw materials. So that's what we have there, as long as different spots throughout the van. In the very back you'll see it as well, some of the quote wool look. And of course we have all our blacks to match the church, along with a lot of these wooden raw materials. Another thing that I really wanted to have was some greenery. So we have numerous different spots along here with greenery. Another thing that we were doing for this layout was trying to have it as open as we could. So as you can see, it's, open as you can get in a van. We have a nice long 77-inch countertop here. We have additional countertop space here. We wanted to make it as practical as possible. Just a little bit of seating area, lots of area to cook, a garage space area in the back, which we'll get to later, and then having our bed permanently here to be able to just jump up and relax whenever we need it. So that's sort of about the layout. We'll get more into detail as far as what each thing is and what exactly specs we have in here.
If you think back earlier to the picture of the Norwegian church, you'll notice that they have the cedar shake shingles on their roofs and on the sides. So that was the inspiration for this. We hand cut each of these and stain them as well. We made them slightly different. They're not quite as rustic and not quite as long as what you'd typically see on those. But yeah, we're kind of going for a modern rustic look, and I am very happy with how they turned out.
Whenever you're building a project, you have a budget laid out for that project, as we did for this van also. The sink was one of those things where it was hard to figure out what we should do. We had two options. We had this beautiful black sink, or it was a circular silver sink. This was $170. The circle silver sink was only 45 bucks. I really wanted to get that one because I was trying to watch the budget, but I'm so glad we didn't, because look how well this matches with the theme of the van. Can you imagine if we had that silver one in here, how awful it would look? It would clash with everything in here and not blend in. So that's one spot that I am glad we did. not necessarily go over budget, but we did decide to put some of the money, allocate that towards the sink versus other spots. So there's two options we have for a gray tank. First one is to go right down here in this jug, and the second one is to go right through that blue pipe there to the outside. We have a quick release setup here where we can take it from here or take it right down to here. That's one thing we noticed and we did not expect when we started van life, was how bad gray water stinks. So if you're thinking of putting a gray water tank inside your van, definitely have some type of ventilation or just shoot it to the outside. Also in the kitchen, we have a 2-burner stovetop. It is portable, which is something we like to be able to cook outside. For this, we'll just run an extension cord right out to it. But it is nice to have a 2-burner. We only had one before, but there were times that we're like, it'd be nice to have 2 burners, be able to cook 2 things at once. Something we also added, this, by the way, is our massively large kitchen everything drawer, you could call it. But check out our new pan set. So we decided when we went with the induction, none of our pans actually worked for them. They have to have specific magnetic bottoms for those in order to work. So we decided to get a pan set that matches our van. Pretty excited about that. But yes, this is the massive drawer for our kitchen. We're still trying to decide on this tray here. That's why we haven't taken it out of the box. But we have a lot of storage underneath there, all along with the upper level here. So we have plates, silverware, you name it. Our whole kitchen drawer. Everything can fit in there, so that's pretty nice. Whew. And now I'm over here. Right underneath our kitchen drawer is our fridge and freezer. The nice part about this is it's about double size that we had before, and just locks back in place like that. One of the things we don't see very often in a van are these middle cabinets right here. And I thought there was a lot of wasted space here, and you can always utilize every single area in a van because you're always going to need storage. So one thing that we decided to do was make it into a pantry. We also added this area up here, which is additional pantry, and then right down here we have additional room for food in this drawer if we want. We went with this Ikea cabinet drawer, I guess you could call it, because it's a lot easier than making a full-on drawer with drawer slides. It's a lot simpler version. Also only cost us, I think, it was like $3 for the slides and like $5 for the basket. So that was definitely a budget friendly area there. Right below it we have our microwave, which runs off of our solar power, and then right below we have our Instant Pot.
So on this side we have more storage. We have bathroom stuff up here. This we haven't quite decided what we're putting in there yet. And down here we have different various things. We have Mel runs a sticker business on this side. She has all of her sticker stuff in there. So on this side we have storage for our clothing. This right here was kind of designed after looking at different housing architecture, so to speak, and saw someone do that in their house and thought it might look kind of cool. So we have a little open space right here where we can put things. Right now we have hats, but we can put decoration and things like that as well. Over on this section, as you can see, we kind of ended the cabinets here and just went with a shelf across here. A couple reasons for that. One is we wanted to add greenery. And two was, as you can see, the slant of the transits makes it quite difficult to continue the cabinets along this line. So like I said earlier, we're not professional carpenters or anything like that, so to make it easier on yourselves, and personally I think it turned out better looking, I guess, than the other alternative of having cabinets run all the way across. We just decided to do that.
Also, funny thing is, when we started van life, we thought we wanted like a area with benches and a table and everything versus the stationary lofted bed style. We actually had a Murphy bed in our last one, but come to find out, we actually like the idea of having the bed fixed there all the time. If I want to go take a nap and Abe's up or something, I can just sort of be tucked away back here, and he has room to move throughout the van without disturbing me and my migraines. So that's one thing that actually is something that changed from when before you start van life, you think you want one thing, and then once you've been living van life, you figure out what you like and don't like. That was one of the things. And then we also have a window right over here that is a sliding window, so we have some air circulation there. The nice thing about these having 2 max air fans is you can put one for going in and then one for going out, so it can create a little bit of air circulation. And right below here we have our gas heater that's hooked up right to our gas tank. We have a main controller unit right here, and then we also have a quick controller unit that is right by the bed.
The one thing we haven't completed yet is our bathroom / shower area here. We still have to tile inside of here in order to make it waterproofed, but our shower is going to be here and be able to drain outside. Once we complete that, we'll have that in a future video. Here we have a Lagoon table mount. This was definitely something we wanted to add to the van. We can use it sitting here or over by the swivel seat. That way, yeah, we have something to use when Mel's working on her stickers or one of us is on the computer or something like that.
Right here is our control panel for all of our electrical system. We have our battery monitor, our inverter on off, extra USB and 12-volt plugs here. My normal house 120-volt plug here, and right down here where you can't see is our heater plug. That way when we're in bed we can turn the heater on. We also have a separate heater plug up in the front. So we have two switches, one right here and one on the front side here for our lights. They are on dimmable switches. And this here actually, which we haven't touched on, is our magnetic cabinet opener. How it works is, see right now you can't open it. Hold the little magnet in front of it while opening and then it opens. So how the device works is when you hold this magnet here, it pulls and clicks that little lever there. On the back of it you can push a little, I guess another lever here, and then when you go to shut it, it stays open all the time. So if you're stationary somewhere, that works out nice so you don't have to yank on it like for some of the 5-pound locks and other options that people have done. Right under here we have our electrical system. We have two 200 amp hour batteries. We have a 3,000 watt inverter charger that we can hook up to shore power, and then on the roof we have 600 watts of solar. We also have a DC to DC charger to be able to charge our batteries while driving through our inverter out front. The nice part about our electrical being right back here in this corner is we can peek in from this side like I'm doing here, and we can see our MPPT charger controller for our solar panels and see how they're doing, along with if any fuse needs to be replaced, we can see that here.
This is our huge garage space in the back. We have our weights back here. We don't quite have it organized yet, but we're pretty excited at the multitude of space that we have in order to pack things in. A little bit more on the bed situation. We have a short queen mattress. Due to the width of the Ford Transit, we had about 6 inches of blank space here. So we actually made a 6-inch kind of skinny cabinet that we were able to put on the side here that we can store things in as well. The somewhat unique feature about this bed is that these rails can be removed. They're just placed inside these notches here on the rails. So in case we ever want motorcycles in the future, we can just put another rail across up there and just slap those right in. Over here we have our water system with our pump. We have 35 gallons of water. We chose to continue using the jugs as opposed to the tanks. For various reasons, it seems like it's easier to take these into places, and we've heard that the jugs, potentially a lot of the time they leak if you're going over bumpy areas. So what we do when we run out of water from one, we just quick release that, put that right in there. One of the last minute additions to the garage was garage lights. This turned out very useful on the very first night. I went to the back looking for something and I tried to get out my phone and Mel's like, "What are you doing? We got garage lights." So we flicked it on. Hope you enjoyed our van tour, and a huge thank you to Sydney, Albert, Rob, Mandy, and all of those who helped us along the way.
If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, we'd appreciate that, or find us on Instagram to connect.